Okay, and so yes, so I've got a simplified. We might want to add price in there as well. Let's see. Let's do
Oh,
that.
you've got price.
Oh, I do. I do have price. Okay. Let's let's see, text. Right. You have to put in that formatting.
This is especially important in tables where things are showing in a vertical column. It gets confusing to read if the numbers are center justified.
Okay. All right. So we're going to explain what's going on here. So inside the order file, and I can put a couple more. Let me type this first. All right. Save that. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We're inside an order file, and we want to display all the items that are in the cart. So we're going to loop through them using the line items loop that's available within an order file context. We're displaying the SKU, the price, some description, optional description there that we can set, and then the quantity. We're also giving the user the ability to edit the cart, and what I think you mentioned this earlier, since these are looping, since this is looping through all the products, if we didn't add this specific line index marker, every form variable coming over would be called the same thing, and we wouldn't know what we are to edit. By putting a delimiter here, an underscore, and then a line index, we know which product that's in the cart to edit in the resulting page, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And first, I want to just quickly see what this looks like. Yeah, okay, we got our basic structure here. Of course, our quantity field's way too big. That's obvious. And it's showing the correct quantities for all of them, since that's the default. If you don't specify a quantity when you add an item, it adds only one item.
This would be a good point too, to just do a view source and then take a look at how those quantity fields now are named. This is going to be what WebDNA produces. Remember, everything that WebDNA processes, it'll crank out plain HTML, plain text. It substitutes all those square bracketed things for regular HTML. So you can see here each input has a name. There's set quantity 1, set quantity 2. That 1, 2, and 3 is coming from the line item number inside of that order file. And now we can use that information together with a form action to tell WebDNA which line item we want to change the quantity of or even remove.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So two, when you're troubleshooting and trying to figure out what WebDNA does, form variables is handy. You'll do a lot of view source, and a lot of times view source will be empty. But a lot of times you'll figure out what's going on by looking at the URLs, by hovering your mouse, all those sorts of things.
All right, and this looks kind of ugly, this whole description thing, doesn't it?
I think because we're using text A, it's empty, and I think if we would instead use the, I forget, it's a description 1, 2, and 3 in the database?
No, just the text.
Oh, this is in
But,
the order file. Are we
but,
appending the description into the order file?
No. That's why it's not displaying anything, but I'm not sure I even want it here. Or we could show it if...
The picture?
We could show a picture, sure. Let's do the picture instead. I like that. That sounds better. So you can just delete that out. We don't need... I think people realize that it's a picture.
This is a picture.
So let's find the description here and change that to skew, and then we can do that same thing that we did over in the navigation. Actually, we'll grab this line, check out page, and right underneath the line items we'll set the image there, and that way I'll just grab that other thing. Alright, so I'm going to grab this. Let's see how that looks. Better. Yeah. Maybe not so much padding, and maybe
Do an alternating background color.
maybe taking out the width parameter. I think if they shrunk in on itself,
Or set it just to a smaller width.
could do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's set it to a smaller width. 200. That way it'll grow and shrink as needed beyond the minimum. Okay, so what was the other thing I was doing here? There's one other thing I wanted to do. Oh yeah. And I don't think I like the border. Let's describe what this is. One, two, three, four. The cart, I guess.
Or cart contents. Or, yeah, you're right.
Something like that. So just doing some formatting. One thing that image does is it really makes it spread out, doesn't it? So let's
What if we would try a height, instead of specifying width, why don't we try a height of 50? Does that...
a height of, what'd you say?
No, height. A height.
Yeah, well, I mean, using either one is going to resize it proportionally the same. So,
well, because those images are so oblong and tall, I think if we limited the height, that would have a more dramatic effect
Well, if you-
on the width.
okay. Or if you edit the width, it will still